All right, here we go again. Buckle up, rough roads ahead. We'll try to smooth out those rough roads. So, there's no doubt that if I was left to be 4 years ago, I would have found my way to health. I just think it's a little bit late now to, get anywhere without surgery, but I probably would have been good without surgery. I just needed to keep the tree. I couldn't see it anymore. I couldn't see what was wrong. There was a massage therapist who said your lower lumbar is tilted. Well, why it's tilted is because my right side's pulling up, and then it causes the left side to droop. Once the right side stretches, then the left side picks up. It's confusing the back. It doesn't know what to do. Well, I stayed like that, on and off for 4 years. I mean, I still had an element of that, but I was able to manage it with salt baths and other things. I had no idea what was wrong. But in the beginning, I knew there was something like that, and I had to get something done. And I just stayed in the middle of it until I couldn't get the massage any longer. Right. The last time I was in massage, I guess, was in Colorado. Right. If I just got pressed out all day by a good massage therapist, again, they did something that triggered me to leave Tyler because I was starting up massage therapy in Tyler. And then all of a sudden I left. And again, at a certain point, I didn't know what they were doing. It took me, last few months, I figured out what they were doing as far as blocking my health care with panic attacks, stressing the victim out. I mean, after 30, 40 years, I mean, come on. It's like a prisoner of war camp for 30 years. You're all sickos. You're all bound for hell. There ain't nothing going to forgive any of you. But again, I leave it up to God. God does what God does. Thank you, Larry. Their whole scam is that they're killing the sicko. Thanks, Larry. So Ian, what's his name? Elon Musk is being psyoped. So what they're doing is, and I've been through that psyop before, is they f your money, and then they present opportunity. Well, opportunity is corrupt, right? So what they're doing is they're going to tank his money, and while he's around the government, they're going to give him opportunity to make money. Some of that's Satan's stance. He can't even do what he did. Well, he can't. It has to be a third party person. Right. And apparently, it's probably a setup, unless he just dweebed out and fantasized about it or something. Well, there's apparently no risk. Somebody may have told him something that wasn't true to get him to bite on it. And now he looks stupid. Again, it's the stuff they've been doing to me for years. Now, I'm not perfect. I was able to sleep on my back last night. Praise God. And when I was in the massage bed, I'm like, okay, I need to turn the heat up. And I can't hear that good because my whole right side of my head is twisted and I got shit in my ears. So the dude got a little pissed off for a second, but he recovered. He was good. I found probably the best massage. And again, I don't know, I can't account for everybody in there, but I've found two already, and I've only been there twice. Massage therapists that absolutely know what they're doing. Well, part of what I think made this all screwed up is that I'm hoping I don't need a shoulder replacement at this point because it was so tight on that right side. It may be just a matter of leveling out all the different muscles. Right. When I was holding that broadcast stick, I try to put it in my left hand, but right, it just never worked. So what happened is all that walking with the phone and the recording equipment in the right hand with the podcast stick, it tightened up that side. Again, it's not supposed to happen that way. And if they don't stress you out, it probably doesn't happen that way. It's the combination. And it tightened up real bad. And I couldn't get to massage therapy. No matter I remember sitting in Oklahoma trying to get somebody into my apartment, and I couldn't do it. Couldn't break through it. So, like, I mean, 2.5 years ago, at least, I was sitting there 2.5, 3 years ago, I was sitting there going, I got to get massage. And it would have led to all of this realization then, which would have been much better. Because at that point, would have been, a little bit overdue, but it would definitely time for steroid treatment. And then it probably would have worked it to something. And then if I needed surgery, I could work it. Well, because when my right side's all the way up, it's just, I mean, it's still painful now, but not as painful. So what happened earlier this morning, my right side was a little looser and my left side was a little tighter. And then I could walk much more normal. A lot of inflammation, but still I could walk much more normal. And I am actually probably walking a little more normal today. That's how the back was ruined, how the lumbar was ruined. My right side pulled up and it wore down. But yeah, I mean, my neck was trapped. My whole head was trapped still. Even though it was looser, it wasn't loose enough. The other massage therapist just couldn't see. I may have been a little more descriptive with him, but I mean, it just fell into place. So the things like, I couldn't make an appointment. I kept trying to make an appointment. I couldn't get in. And they know, they're stalking me. And they know they're willing it down. They know they psychologically tortured me for decades. They know all of it. Right? So I'm sitting there and I can't. And then the spirit said, call the desk person, make the appointment with the desk person. Like, put it in the app, but you talk to that person, and then you'll be able to put it in the app. You two together will make that appointment happen. Right. So then I called and I said, who do you recommend? And it told me to go with a dude. Because what happened is I called the one massage therapy place is probably a little more particular than the other one. It's the one I signed up with and I thanked them for signing me up. But so I called only because the blip said to. I said, well, I have like dry skin on one spot, and it has, you can see that it's broken skin. Well, he told me to wait 3 days, and it just got worse and worse. And I said, something said, just go to the other one, find a dude. A guy is not going to care. All right. So that's what I had. I said to her, so, well, should I use a guy or a girl? And in her head, it said a dude, probably. A guy acting stupid. So he's a woman or a man, a guy or girl, whatever. I don't know. Right. Thank you, Larry. Well, it's going to get me out of the extreme, well, hopefully get me out of the extreme necessity of having it done today. Like I need surgery today because I can't function. Right. So again, their deep state did this to me. They exist, man. The guy that I looked up online the coffee, and I go in the store, and he comes out and stops right in front of me and looks at the bag of coffee as I'm going into the Walmart. That's all real. That's Oklahoma City. Thanks, sir. Just every day, that kind of shit. And it's not testing the person. You don't test a person by doing that. It's all bullshit. You're all crooks. The only concern is there's like a pain in the upper left back, and it could be from just cramping up real bad, because it cramped up real bad, and then I released it, then it cramped up. So what happens is, if I don't, the right side causes it to, if it's off, it causes it to cramp up. Otherwise, once the right side's released, it all should like distribute evenly and keep me well enough until the surgery. Right. That's just a shame. 4 years ago, I probably could have got out of not getting surgery. Right. But that's their goal. Well, but the thing is, again, there could be other parts of this, like they're using something. That's still not out of the norm, but they use some substance that tightens me up. Right. Oh my gosh. Oh, because when I left Amarillo, I was gone. I had to go. I was so sick. I was so tight. And they were around. There's no doubt. Like when you try to ignore them, they just get in your face even more. But again, there is no quote-unquote ignoring them. It's a little cool today. I wish it wasn't this cool. It was a little bit too warm yesterday. Give me a break from that pounding sun. Well, it's the first time I was not the first time. Every time I went into that massage therapy place, I definitely felt like I was with a competent person. I'm not going to ding other people for now, but right. And there's like, I mean, he even had a little attitude for a second, but he lost it and he picked it up because I couldn't hear him. I'm like, what? I was like, I mean, I'm in pain on top of it, you know, and I'm like, and I got concerned as whether it was going to work. And he said something. I was like, what? Right? And he's like, what'd you say? And he's like, I forget it. And then he like chilled out. Because I carry something like that anyway from the deep state. They'll get in their head and right. So it takes. I already know it takes a lot to help me. Boy, it just got colder because the sun just went in more. If that sun came out today, like real good, it'll be a lot warmer. So hopefully soon. The sun's just kind of. I got a heavier jacket on. I'm. He told me I'd be inflamed today from all that he did, but boy, it was tight. I just couldn't get to it. Again, this is psychological torture that they're using, and if you can't understand what's happening, then you can't break through it. And it's still, you saw, I understood it. I still couldn't break through. I had to use, some spirit came up and. So I ordered from Amazon a full size for the bed. I have a full bed. Uh, a like it's a heating pad in essence, but it's like a bed pad, and you plug it in, and that'll heat up one side of the bed. I slept last night with a heating pad because when I was on the massage bed, I'm like, well, I feel pretty good. Let me make sure I use that. It's just the question is when the next massage can be administered. It's well, being cramped for a long time, those nerves might, hopefully they're not completely damaged or damaged in any way. It just might need to, cool and heal. Usually that's what it is. So, no, I remember being in Amarillo and she says you're thinking, and I knew that, but I just couldn't figure out what I had to do to get it fixed. I couldn't see it. Again, if they get away from the person, if the person gets to decompress, then they might figure it out. And there's no doubt this last time when I sought healthcare, I noticed what they were doing. That they were all of a sudden they were stalking me intensely, and I don't know what they're using. For all I know, somebody's aiming a direct energy gun at me. I don't know. You don't know either, so don't act like you do. You see, they develop that stress using things such as that. I do need to get up and walk out of the bed a little bit. I can't just lay in there. But I couldn't even lay on my back. Last night I went to sleep, boom, laid on my back. It wasn't perfect, but I could do it, Now, definitely 4 years ago, had I found competent care, this would have moved into the background. But I would have been like a day away from surgery, so I would have had to contemplate it and would have had a clear head to work through it. Would have pointed my vehicle east, got to my brother's. But again, when a guy like me comes in the community, cops are supposed to introduce themselves and say, if you need something, give us a call. Like I need my medicine delivered in the blizzard. Yeah, see, but if it's saying if you'd have called, if they'd have did that and you had a number to call and somebody to call, it'd have got done and it'd been delivered to your door, no matter what they say. Right. Thank you, Larry. So those Shabbat candles were still burning when I came back home. Which I'm really surprised about this community because this is a Messianic Jew community and a Jewish community. Right. Now they claim like they're yelling at them in the head and that's the only thing they can do. Right. They have no power to take them out. Like sometimes you hear me yell, it's actually them yelling, but I oracle it. So it actually makes it louder. If you speak out, it can make it louder into the mind. If you do it in your mind, it could be suppressed. Big people like doctors and professionals to find out that I exist. Man, that's pretty cool. I got a big screen on this. What kind of car is this? Is this is this a hybrid? My neighbor's vehicle. It's a Nissan. Got a nice little dash screen. Yeah, 4 years ago it would have worked. And I did heal a little bit. It was probably because my right side relaxed a little bit. Right. No, my neck is like wire tight. I just couldn't see to get anywhere. And I tried. My whole thing was to get my legs massaged. But then again, it would have led to everything else. Because when I got my legs massaged and released, my back started freaking out and tightening up weird. Right. That left lumbar screwed. Yeah, I think 4 years ago he could have not possibly fused it. I'd have to see. Right. I think it was a muscle issue that was causing the back to jiggle around wrong. But I'm hoping. Well, the left side was working well, and then it just kind of. I think it's as the right tightened up, it kind of lost its focus. It gets confused. So it was kind of a simple thing, just keeping these people away. Again, I'm sure they're drugging people. If you out because that's the way they are. If you outdo their physical thing, then they'll do the next thing. Right? You outdo the spiritual thing, then they do the physical thing. Then if you outdo the physical thing, then they'll add some drug or something to you. They're sickos. Been sickos the whole life. Well, this microphone actually ended up in a mop bucket, but I tested it. It sounded fine. It dried overnight. And I was able to do an hour and a half. I've been like, because an hour I don't think works for me. I don't think it works for anybody. An hour massage is way too short, and I found somebody that would do it. Now the other woman, there's a woman that does it, and she doesn't do anything but an hour. But somebody told me, I don't know if she would accept it. You can do two if you can find a block. You can do 2 1-hour blocks. You have to pay them the full price. Right. No, I don't know how much I slept last night. I don't know if it was that long, but I did sleep good. And again, part of this may be because I'm sleeping on my side. That's the side I sleep on. They got tight. You're supposed to sleep on your back with your legs with a pillow under your legs. That's how you're actually supposed to sleep. Yeah, I had a lot of focus on staying well, and they just wouldn't let it be. I mean, how do you focus on anything when they do that? Well, I think, like I said, I think they're being set up. It's just, there's no other way to articulate than explain what's happening. Right. Well, they create bank robbers. They create narcotics distributors. They kill their life and their money, and then open up criminal opportunity. So again, that's what they're trying to do to Elon. But for him, it's a little different because he's so rich. But his money is tanking, and it's probably going to continue to tank. And then they're going to open up these opportunities that are unethical at a minimum. Yeah, my left leg's pretty weak right now. But if my left side were actually to fire up some more, it may not be as weak because this morning it wasn't. This is kind of the problem I was having in Amarillo, but I think it was much more healable. Went back inside. It's a little chilly out there, but I had to get some walk in. And of course, my legs are so achy, but I've been walking for a month now, as much as I could, because it wasn't comfortable to sit down. It isn't absolutely comfortable to sit down right now, but no, they should have just stayed out of my life. I'd have been in massage in Santa Fe. There's no reason to have tried to psyop me in Santa Fe. There's spy masters at the top, no doubt. kind of aggravating that they pushed the buy. There was something pushing me to buy that speaker from Amazon. It looks like it's ahead of schedule, so I think my refund will come in quicker than they say. Right, but it's kind of aggravating. But well, it's not as aggravating now. I take it back because the first time it happened was on my store card, which you can only use that at Amazon. You can't use it anywhere else. Right. So I imagine there's a couple places, no place that I use it at. But I now have the Prime card. So this is I already paid down my Prime card this morning because it's the beginning of the month. That's how I do it. So then I'm going to get $169 refunded most likely. But I'll be able to use it at, shopping wherever. Again, the points are only like 1 point if it's not Amazon. But again, I do buy things from Amazon regularly. So, and they have been good about returns. I can't say they haven't. And I've been good about buying things to replace the returns. But I kind of focus on that. Yeah, I hope I get to some level of healing. We'll find out. Well, the problem is, it's going to take a while to even get an appointment with with the doctor. I have to get MRIs and other things. So I'm glad I was able to get to massage. I actually should have been in massage even before this point. Well, it kept saying no at the one location, and I don't know what it is. Right? And again, it's just I like the one massage therapist, but I could never get to see her. I couldn't get to schedule it. It's just this all came together, and it's this essentially the same thing that happened last time. I couldn't get an appointment, and then this one woman came up, and she turned out to be great. And she don't do it. She only does 1 hour. She doesn't do an hour and a half. And she, she's really good at what she does. And the funny, like I said, it's the one I told you that it's really funny because she said to me, she said to me that the new massage therapists are actually the best because they're just so fired up and attentive and they're into the thing and studying. And I said, you know what? You just complimented yourself. I said, because in my mind, I said, this woman is like those, fresh out of school people that they used to massage me. They'd always come in with something new every week. Like, I'll tell you, for Hand and Stone, it's a little, like you have to select like deep tissue, select trigger. They give you the opportunity. I like upgrading. So I like the opportunity to upgrade. I don't mind that because I want to give, an extra $10 or $15. I think it's, an hour massage, they don't make that much money. Again, 2 hours is a better way to do it because people make money. Right. A lot of work, but right. So it just gets a little weird. Like what I tell them is, look, I just selected an upgrade. You do what you want. Right. You want to put pressure, put pressure. You want to put light, you put light. You want to do trigger, you do trigger. Right. You want to do deep, do deep. I can't tell you what to do. Right. So essentially, what I would recommend is this, and I don't know if it ruins what you're trying to do. There's different types of massages, like the Swedish massage, right? And then I would say the medical massage. And I don't know if that makes sense, but that would be the one where they would use all the higher technological skills. Right? So come up with it. That would be a way to do it. And then you should pay an additional $10 for half hour or whatever it is. Right? But I think the best thing for me to do is what I've been trying to do is select an hour and a half, which would rule that one woman out. But she's pretty good. Right. Now a lot of stuff happened. Like the guy screwed up the epidural. That's right. And actually, I should have never been there. I should have been comfortable to live somewhere else. I don't know why you're having people do shit to me. Other than you getting paid to destroy me. Right. I'd have been living in an apartment in Norman and never left while receiving massages. I was already receiving massages. I think I probably needed a different massage therapist. I don't think she was as aggressive enough. Right? I was getting like a Swedish massage, and I probably needed something a little deeper. Now, last night I received a blip to buy these kimbops, the seaweed rolls. They're expensive. They said, "Look, you don't go out to eat. You don't even buy pizzas anymore." Actually, the pizzas were a cheap way to eat. They were three something. They were delicious. Those pizzas at Menards are the most delicious thing on earth. I wish I could have found them 20 years ago when I was younger and wasn't watching my diet. Although I kind of messed up my diet. I bought some Target ice cream because I'm trying to, like, if something's wrong with my stomach, that helps. But there's a lot of fat in there. Not as much as other ice cream. It's only like 2.5 grams per serving. Right. But I need to watch that. Now, something weird happened the other day. I thought these one sausages were 7 grams of fat. I'm like, how'd they get past me? I actually bought that thing, but it's only 2 grams. Because I was able to, something corrected. Again, I didn't correct it. Something corrected. So again, I was cursed. The Pope was cursed. The Pope got sick. I got sick. Now the Pope's on the other side of it, and I'm on the other side a little bit. No, they shouldn't have been allowed to do any of this. Oh, I see it. It's still the same thing. It's the scalenes. It could be the scalenes. Yeah. What's triggering that other muscle is coming from the, it's like the subscapular muscles and things. So I couldn't get to them. And he was a good guy. I mean, I enjoy being around people that are just average, but I call them good guys because they're not jerks. Right. Or good gals. Well, some of the good gals like to be called good guys. No, I should have never had this done to me. That was a good salt. Right. Well, I mean, there was a case in government for what they did to me, and it should have been honored. Something had to go be put in the record, right? So that they couldn't come back and never do anything. Make it large. Yeah, what it seems to me is it's just trying to adjust for the lumbar, and it's just going crazy because it can't. And again, there's other things that I'm doing that are tightening that right side and making it even more difficult. Right. Now, I remember saying I got to put it in my left hand. I remember walking and going, I got to, pass it back and forth. But I guess my right never was fully relaxed, or I would have realized all of the things I'm realizing right now. And of course, it's not fully relaxed. Again, I broke through whatever psychological thing they were doing to a certain degree. I mean, at least I could see that it was happening. That if I sought healthcare or massage therapy, that they would kill me. Now, I'm almost positive with what I'm experiencing in my body right now with adjustment, that if I had found the right massage therapist and just been able to peacefully move through that, I would have been healthy 4 years ago. But I do believe I would have had to still look at surgery in the future. But I don't know, could have been 5, 6, could be like now, but I would have had 5 years of health. Right. Right here, Larry. So my neck was kind of released, and well, they were releasing it, but it wasn't. It was just like short lived. It just go blink right back. This dude like knew what to do to get it all. Like he was saying, you're going to feel this, and I'm not going to feel anything more, and I'm already feeling my body doesn't. My body's actually a very resilient body. That's what makes them angry, is that I can endure so much. So that's why they tortured me so much more. I mean, they're sick, right? And being a healthy person and people liking me, I mean, it just infuriates them. They're all narcissists. Well, no matter what happened in the White House, though, and I'm not saying they're narcissists, it wasn't a good photo op. I mean, again, MAGA faithful, some of them, yeah, President got them. Look at Vance got him. Oh, look at Rubio, he's mad. I mean, but it's like child games, man. Well, you shouldn't allow that. The meeting should not have taken place unless you had a surety. Well, because you're losing supporters. Remember, you were voted in by a swing group of voters, a major swing group, a non-historical group of swing voters. Right. Thank you, Larry. And believe me, they see that my ice cream, my freezer like didn't close all the way, so everything melted. So I don't even know what's good in there and what's bad. Generally, I think I got it fast enough that if I cook everything, real well, that I won't have to worry about it. That's the one thing. You can use food to defrost a little bit, but you got to cook. You got to use it soon, and you got to cook the hell out of it and kill everything that could possibly be in it. Right. Most of the like listeria and all that is from either raw food or undercooked food. Right. Thank you, Larry. But I mean, they're hating on me and my money the whole time. I mean, that's the only reason my life went the direction that it did. And they were given unlawful access. I mean, that intrusion and access that they used is insane. So what's happening now, I'm back in those shoes I bought a long time ago that I liked. And I think they're working now. So what happened is when I did the surgery, for some reason, my right side tightened up. Now, again, they could have put something in the food that caused it. I'm not here to... I guarantee they drugged me. Correct. I guarantee in my life they drugged me. Where and when, I can't tell you, although I know not Amarillo, Iowa, and what was that place? In Nebraska, Omaha. They definitely drugged me there. Thanks, Larry. Making sure. No, my legs are pretty standing tall. It's just everything screwed up. Again, I think they botched the epidural and should have redone. There should have been a second epidural. Right. And massage and trigger point. But again, the deep states, not only around me, they're around the doctors. And, I believe some doctors are compromised. I just have to tell you that. No, I can smell even better today. So again, when you look at COVID, look for tightness. See if COVID is causing tightness in people. Even antibiotics and medicine can cause tightness. Regular. I should have never been allowed in my life. Point blank. I don't know where this is going to lead. I mean, that was a long time for the spine to stay trapped in cramped muscle. So I could end up with all sorts of residual issues. There's no guarantees. And they knew it. That's why they do it. But people that get out of it within a few months are okay. But people that are stuck in it a few years, sometimes they never heal. I mean, this is what they're doing. Trying to get this pot clean here. I used to cook this morning. No, when I had everything released, I felt like all it was my lumbar. Like when it released, there was like, okay, there's really nothing here. Right. It takes a ton of stuff. And then my legs are too weak at that point. So it would be like the experiment for the ablation therapy. We got a FedEx emergency landing. Bird strike. Engine fire. Oh, we're still on. Yeah. FedEx plane had an issue. Bird strike and engine fire. Just the average kind of things. God does control the birds generally. But again, it could be Satan and God just simply taking his hand off of the protection. Yeah, per serving, 2 grams of sat fat is my max generally. I mean, I'll splurge here or there, like with ice cream or something. I try to keep it to 0.5, as close to 0.5. 0 and 0.5 are my favorite. And in veggie foods, you can do that, but I'm trying to stay away from the soy at this point. Yeah, my left leg is doing real well compared to earlier, but my back is all cramped. My left side of my back is a little bit tight, but it isn't cramped like it was. So again, what I was seeking, the knowledge I had about what was going on in my back was valid when I was in Amarillo and Texas and all that. I just, since then they haven't given me peace of mind to address it. And again, they're watching people and they're willing them down also. So again, they are devils. That's what the whole watch list is. It's a bunch of devils. Now, there could be some people that are valid there, but if you can abuse it, then the whole thing is useless because you're actually creating the need to have a watch list at that point. Well, I noticed the soy foods were cheaper. And of course, trying to save money, I bought those, but I just started recently buying the more expensive foods now because they're different. Uh, they're not soy, but some of them were high in sat fat. I'm like, it makes no sense to make a vegetarian. Again, what they do is they say, well, this is lower than pork and lower than beef, but it doesn't make any sense. And if you're going to make a vegetarian thing, you know, minimize that sat fat as far as you can. Yeah, it's just cramping up too much, I think is what it is. Because I'm sitting there kind of massaging it and getting it to release. But it's that right side that's still too tight that's causing it, I think. Then I went to Colorado to see if there was maybe something in Texas weather that was causing my issue. And that's where I got hit real hard. Then I even played it up a bit just to see what was happening. Right. But I didn't play it up to start it. Trying to make somebody a criminal. See, they're saying make because that's has different meaning. Law enforcement. They're trying to cause somebody to do something. Yeah, I think the whole thing at this point is that I need to have that lower lumbar fused like I did 4 years ago. I needed. Again, you're just not going to get to it with what they're doing to me and the physical condition based upon what they were doing to me. Couldn't get to any type of treatment. Well, that's why the doctors never can understand my urgency because there's something else going on. Right. Right. So the body, needed to receive certain type of massage therapy. Right. Something that plain as day, the MRI should have showed him what was happening. Because you saw it. Now, we generally call it physical therapist, but that's not good enough. Right. We're missing a certain group of people that tie all this together. Now, they use the team concept, but we're missing some people. We need people that are experts in body movement and muscular issues that aren't like physical therapy setting. They're just brainiacs. what they do is they take all the findings, MRIs and X-rays, and try to troubleshoot possible muscle issues. Like, why is my lower lumbar on that angle? Right. Some of them would know. Those sounds that I'm oracling are the sounds of their system. Because when I can positively move us forward, they get angry. No, so I actually had found the shoes that worked the best with me for me. And let me snooze my cam here, or my notifications at least. I gotta keep walking out and in the door, and it keeps sending notifications. And yeah, my back cramping up when I had COVID may have been ruining my lumbar further. I don't know. I just need to stay away from me. Right? There's no need to chase after disabled people, seeing what you can do to them to make them sicker. I mean, that's what you're doing, all of you. Now, I know if I'd have got to Pennsylvania now, I can see it. It's like being 2020, but I mean, it's pretty clear at this point. My system is evil, so if you can't establish something about the evil beyond a certain point, it won't let you see when it shouldn't be honoring evil. I would have wired into their system, and I would have seen a ton of doctors and got everything forward. When been back at dentistry and everything, right? Last 4 years would have been perfect, and that's what they know. See, the deep state knows once the person gets into a medical system, then their life will pick up. Me, I didn't know that. Yeah, they're in my brother's head. I can tell he's getting irritated about stupid stuff. I tried to explain to him what was going on in my back, so he could understand what I was trying. I said my spine is essentially a fulcrum, and when my right side picks up, the left side crushes the left side, right? So it's kind of tilting. I knew something like that was happening. I said something is causing my spine to go and go. Well, your spine doesn't look out of line, but what it is, it's got enough of that lift, right? And over time, of course, it probably got worse. Thank you, Larry. I mean, these people don't care about nothing. They're to make their $1 million and kill people and protect their drug dealer cronies and their sex trafficking cronies and call themselves good. Yeah, it's kind of still chilly out there. Yeah, I'll definitely benefit from this guy's massage or someone else if I were to go to anyone else. Well, when he had me all released yesterday, I didn't have like the issue with my shoulder. Like right now, it's released, but it's released with what do they call that? Magnesium oil. So it's probably fighting against itself. There's parts that are still overly tight. So when he balanced it out, the shoulder was working fine. So again, the major issue may be simply fusing the lumbar so it doesn't trigger all this other stuff. Right? As far as ablation therapy, it might actually release it too much. It's bratwurst. They got some bratwurst, vegetarian bratwurst that's out of this world. Only 2 grams of fat. Of course, real bratwurst is probably like 7 to 10 grams. Actually, let's look that up. Let's see what bratwurst fat. Bratwurst fat. 4 to 8.5 grams on average. Actually, it's not that bad. Some is low. Some has low fat. I just want to say 8.5 grams. So yeah, yesterday I bought that kimbap, ate both of them before bed. I said, "You're going to be hungry. You don't go out to eat. Buy it. There'll be payback." So again, 4 years ago, I could have returned to a better life, right? If they just would have stayed away from me. Should have been forced to stay away from me. Now I'm really glad with this car wash. I think the first time I used that car wash, I didn't really like it for some reason. And I only picked like the second up because it's expensive car wash over there by Walmart, but it's a no touch and you just drive through. I guess the backside's a little bit. I didn't probably rinse off the backside as much. At least it got it cleaner, so I don't look like a bum. I haven't cleaned it since the snowstorm. I got to be out here walking. I'm eating so much. If I don't walk, I'm going to blow up even more than I am. I can't deal with it. Yeah, I was still lean and everything, man. I was like 160 pounds, 170 pounds. I think 165 pounds. I was real lean because I had just done a lot of walking and shit. I have no idea. I mean, I pushed through Santa Fe. I even told the boss man when on the phone. I said, "I pushed through. Your people were doing crazy stuff, but I pushed through because I need a massage." If they said something like that, I wish you would have told me. I'm like, what? Yeah, see, I knew he was part of it. That's why it was like all bullshit. And one with the mall tries to say I hit on her, they slammed that. But they dissed off the one security guy that was, he was my friend, but he was telling the truth. I'm not hitting on nobody at the gym, at those places. I may be friendly with you and talk to you, but that's about it. For me to hit on you, that would take a friendship and to know you for a while, especially in disease capital of the world. I mean, come on, I'm living in a place where everybody got HIV, STDs, narcotics addiction. I did a bunch of charity for them all, and not killing them on the spot, like metaphysically. I'm a a patient person to a certain degree. Again, as long as I can keep my health, and I told you all that. No, like right now, this is how I know that. At least I don't know if it's L1 and L2 or it's just L1. This is how I know the surgery is going to work because my legs are now powered up because my back's all tight, pulling up on everything. All right. And it could be the shot. The inflammation can do things too. Now, 4 years ago, I probably could have went at least this long without any surgery. I had actually a good life and a healthy life by just getting massage and steroid treatments. But they refused to allow my life to settle down so I could get through and get to all that. No, they're sick people. Day in, day out, sick people. Where that wind's a little cool. The sun came back out, so it warmed up, but it's a little cool. Now my legs just picked back up again because I was able to get that right side to relax. That's all it was the whole time. Get that right side to relax. But of course, I was in much better condition 4 years ago. Actually, yeah, these shoes work good. Back to the issues because my back's releasing now. Meanwhile, the podiatrist is going to make $800 from my insurance company. I don't even think that thing's worth it. Maybe I have to redo it. I have to call them and say what's the process for that. Right. I think the arch is too low. Well, these are those Skechers that I bought. They're a little stiffer than the other Skechers, and that's what he says. Notoriously, Skechers are just, they don't have enough support. But these, I knew to buy these. They had more support before I even went to him. But when my back got screwed up, I couldn't wear these for nothing. It was to just cramp up my back real bad. Yeah, I scheduled surgery for my cyst, and next thing I know, I was sick. I mean, it was just like a day. There's a chance I got COVID in there. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it. Actually, no, because I did do a COVID test after that. That system will sometimes ask me questions. I'm a think tank person. There's a lot more fat in those bratwursts. No, actually, and the thing is, like right now, I don't feel the inflammation. Eh, my right side is relaxed. No, I'd have been fine. I'd have been back in. I probably had that problem in Oklahoma too. I just, like I said, I don't think my massage therapist was aggressive enough. But she was keeping it at bay, that's for sure. No, I had a pretty good setup at the extended stay, but I just, there's a lot of drugs in and out of that place. Right. Break-ins, guns. So I found a 2-bedroom, and when I said I was going to move in, I said, "Yeah, I think I'll move in." And the woman shook her head no, and I'm like, "Okay, what's that?" And again, if the deep state wasn't in my life, I probably would have blew it off, been able to get through it. It's a little bit more money, but I knew I needed a 2-bedroom, and see, I would have had a 2-bedroom before COVID. I just can't remember if it was rugs in the bedroom or hard floors. I can't remember that part. That may have actually also played in. I just can't remember that part. Yeah, at this point, I think when I moved here, if I could have seen it, the Lord was having me move to Manhattan. But I was just, so, Republicans were getting crazy, right? I didn't want to be killed out, but again, it wasn't any better here. And I would have had an apartment with hard floors. I don't still think I found that place. There's another one that I'm looking at online, like Highland Ridge or something, where it's all hard floors. There are apartments open everywhere. I could have slid right in. It said it's hinting, take your trailer to Manhattan, move into that place, and then you'll go get your other stuff later in KC. Right. Well, I'm a big Red One veteran and may have had some weight out there. Correct. Thanks, sir. I just, because of the medical issue, I, didn't feel froggy. Right? I was thinking better hospital system and all that. I was also thinking that. But again, I couldn't take advantage of it until now. Who knows? I could have got to Manhattan and got into massage the first week there. Right. It appears that when the back tightens up, that it's adjusting for the lumbar because it's working. Right. But again, it's not anything to bank on. Nope. The idea is 4 years ago, 10 years ago, it's to stop all of it. Again, it's obvious that you're using drug dealers and people that are part of sex trafficking and other things to say that's what it is. But obviously, you're the government. You can stop them and you can pay them or pay somebody above them to steer it and do. Thank you much. That's a scam if they're running. But they'll say, well, it wasn't us. Look, we discovered it was all these people. Because they'll sell out to people that they put into it. Believe you me, the people bringing the drugs in, you don't even know who they are. They're affiliated with government and other people. They just have their fall people that they arrest every so often. Yeah, I thought it said 7 grams of sat fat. It's actually 2 grams of sat fat. But it does have 13 grams of fat, but it's monosaturated 7 grams, polysaturated 2 grams. That's healthy fat. Right. Mm. Sodium's a little high. Let me look at the competitor sausages here on Amazon. They'll give me this, at least the sat fat. Yeah, that sodium's even higher. Right, but it's 0.5 grams of saturated fat, 8 grams of total fat, but it's got 600 milligrams of sodium. No, it just pains me to know that I was that close in Amarillo and in Texas and figuring it out, and that I was being harassed like that. Who knows? I may have healed and been able to marry that woman. I'm sure I'll see her in the afterlife. She's that type of person. But I mean, I'm going to a massage therapist and somebody drives up in the same kind of van that I own. Right, right, sure. And just sits out front. It's not happy. We all know that. So I don't know what kind of effect it has on the massage therapist herself. She might start willing me away because that van keeps following her. That's right. Regulars. No, they just while I'm there and they pull up and they park right in the front so we can see them from inside the office. Again, because that means the cops are dirty and the cops are covering them. Otherwise, they wouldn't do that. Then if you make a complaint, they go, "You're crazy," right? Not too bad out there. Again, if it had another 5 degrees, it'd be real nice. It was a little too warm yesterday. Another 5 degrees. It's got a cool breeze, so combination of the lower temperature and the cool breeze. The vision that the doctor put in my mind was true. People do get back to riding their bikes and all that other stuff. But there's no way I can leave this area to do the surgery. I mean, I could go maybe a state over if necessary, but right, there's no way to do anything more than that. And there's probably no better surgeons in the Midwest, this general area, Midwest, than Kansas City area. In fact, this area. Right. Right. Okay, the FedEx ground. I just saw the FedEx ground vehicle, and then FedEx had that issue. So, oh yeah, the Federal Exodus is grounded. So what's happening is they're blocking people from leaving the government that probably need to leave the government. They're trying to execute them. There's people right now that can't see to take the offer for the early out or whatever it is you want to call it that need to take it because there's people planning to execute them under the Trump administration. Like there's little rats everywhere in government, and what they'll do is your good employees, they'll make you believe that they're the bad employees. Well, that thing in the White House just shows a certain level. Let me heal this family over here, or mother and her child. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it just shows, just chaos. It's just because you're in the presidency. When you like you're trying. I see what you're all doing. You did it when you ran for office. Everything is their fault, right? You're trying to do that while you're in the office, but there's a certain number of people say you're. I explained this about Biden. I explained this about Trump before that. I think I even explained it about Biden, Obama. You're the president. You can point to everyone else, but you're the president, and you're not only a president. You're in power in all these places. So again, I could be like Lindsay and be the cheerleader, disrespectful Zelensky, but the problem is he dissed you, and it was chaos in that meeting. I would have never went into that meeting. I thought you had something that you secretly worked out. I think I said that. I believe that you had something you secretly worked. Because why would you have a meeting to have him say no? Well, people don't speak out because there's deep state in every one of these communities, right? Whether they be Republican, Democrat, or otherwise. Against they're contract hitters, so they don't get hit. They don't say nothing. But what it does is that you can't gauge what's going on. Some of these people wouldn't even, either won't answer a poll and say no, thank you, or they'll lie to the poll if they think it'll benefit them. Right? No, there's something wrong with the government. Everything's still valid. And again, I agree with Elon that we have to do something where people pay taxes. We can't cut everybody's taxes because it's like insane. I mean, I'd love a tax cut, but I don't pay all that much. I don't know if I would love a tax cut because I'd rather pay a little something. Feel like I'm a real person. Well, but Elon agrees that if we trim all this money and we give tax cuts, where are we going to be? Back at square one. That's what it looks like it's forming. Right. But Elon gets another contract. So you can't do that. Once you enter in to Doge doing that work, you can't do anything. And then he'll say, well, I'm the only person that can save the country. Well, according to Verizon, they're saving the country, and whatever information you have is invalid. Now, I don't know if somebody told you something just to set you up or not. Well, you're trimming the budget, and then you're going to come along. Part of it's your FAA thing. You come along. I'm the only one that can save FAA. Give me the $2 billion contract. And yesterday, I just happened to lose $2 billion or whatever it is he lost. Right. I believe it's a setup. I believe that they're doing because, like I said, they do it as part of the deep state thing. Again, some of it is what they've done to me, but some of it is what I read because they're connected to me. I psychically read. Actually, my back is loose now, and my legs are actually pretty good. So, I guess maybe the epidural's kind of working. I mean, it's not totally loose, but it's pretty loose, and I'm walking pretty tall. Yeah, I think I think this could have been done 4 years ago if it was done right. I think I could have been well. And again, there's surgeons with me. I think Rothman's with me inside or here standing. I don't. Well, because understand, I'm trying to explain the afterlife, and again, I'm not saying that it's an absolute for the afterlife, because Hashem, God, can make the afterlife what God wants it to make it. But in the afterlife, we sometimes visit this planet, or we stay here. Some of us stay here and do work because we're spirits, so we don't have to. We don't live the physical life. And again, like Hashem reminds me, if I say something that enhances the afterlife, Hashem will do it. But again, of course, it comes from Hashem. See, Hashem will speak through us to speak to himself. If he can't, if again, communication in this existence, this part of the existence is very shoddy. So let me get the Shabbat candles out of here, get my incense burner back in. No, I was humming along a little bit. I mean, I wasn't well. I walk kind of weird, right? But I was humming along, and I was, having fun with my Jewishness here. And no, I cue Hashem sometimes. Actually, I'm supposed to blow the shofar before I light the incense. I'm trying to get the right angle. I'll put it on the other side. What I did was I tried blowing it from the right side of my mouth, and I just couldn't get it. I have to do it from the left side. Right. You have to get the right angle. Like I have so many shofars, I don't memorize the angle. I got to put numbers on them, and maybe actually draw the angle on a piece of tape or something. Right. A lot of times, if the shofar won't work, you change the angle. There's some beautiful shofars. I've been wanting those for years. I'm not a shofar guy because I'm a vegetarian, but Hashem says they exist. Get a few. You have nothing to do with them being created, right? Because I don't will things. Well, 4 years ago it would have been nice to heal in Texas and stay in Texas. Right. I had no help from the government. Actually, the government was part of it. I've helped Texas since like 2008, I think. I was part of their border thing, online, making suggestions. I suggested an increase in the Texas Navy. I called it the Texas Navy because they actually had a Navy. You didn't know that, did you? The government had a chat board for suggestions for the border. I guess it was Rick, whatever that guy's name was. What was that guy's name? Busby's buddy. What's his name? It's funny. Busby comes up again, right? These are people I'm supposed to know in life and be as wealthy as they are, at a minimum. Again, I could have been a lawyer very easy. And probably have won a lot of cases inside other people's heads. Thank you, Larry. Nah, it's kind of weird. I mean, my legs are stronger, but my, that sacral nerve is definitely pronounced. That's just scary that I could have healed. And God's going to judge it. You have to understand that when we leave this body, that's when the judgment a lot of times begins, because this planet isn't taking care of business. And again, I don't want people to go to hell on earth. I want people to be stopped when they're 5 years old or 10 years old or 15 years old, so they don't develop that narcissistic personality. That's how it's being caused, because people are rewarded for narcissistic personality. That's how it's created. Again, like I told you, there's a Satan stance thing that you don't see. Right? Mental illness is created by Satan, by routing people in damaging ways. So that's metaphysics is always playing out. Right? So narcissists are actually created by a psychology a cycle. And again, there's physical things that happen. But then again, why would you get in a car accident and hurt your head, and then you have some sort of psychological disorder? Because somebody, the same thing, metaphysics. Because you would have turned left instead of right, or you wouldn't have gotten it in the car, or you bought a different car, or married a different woman. Believe me, God can fix everything, but you can't block God's fixes. Thank you, Larry. So what's happening is the planet, and you see it all the time. Like Lindsay knows if he goes disrespectful, what's his name, Zelensky, that he gets something. So he did it. Right. So Russians will send him something, or whoever it is. He may not even know what it is. Trump will give him a bone. Thank you, Larry. I try and get in my head. I'm blocking them pretty good. No, they're out there. I mean, okay, so we like I say it because I'm psychic and I know what's happening. You all have the same thing happening. Sowing doubt. You may say, well, something, it's sowing doubt. Or actually, I guess some of you do know. Thank you, Larry. But again, if they're not allowed to stalk people, then they can't be that effective. I'm hoping later that I can lay back in bed, but I don't know. My right side's definitely released a lot more than it's been released. But you know what? My right side is actually the scapular stuff is. No, I found my little place to live in Santa Fe, and it was, it was a ghetto kind of place, but it was, dry, somewhat clean. The bugs were a pain, but I hadn't excelled to my own. Like I'd let them do pest control, and that's where I went wrong. Once I learned my own pest control, and I had to, because some of these extended states, oh my God, I mean, the cockroaches rule. I mean, when I was in Tyler, man, they were like airborne. They'd be like, I'd come along and they'd be on top of the counter, and be like, they'd pull the chute and fly down to the floor. I said, they're airborne cockroaches in Texas, man. So I'm like, this is disgusting. So I developed a system where I probably cleaned up a lot of places that I lived. You get those traps, you get those bait traps, right? And then you do a little bit of barrier spray, and that's it. Well, because like bait traps would normally work if everybody used them, but if everybody doesn't use them, you have to do some barrier because they're going to keep invading your space. Now I remember getting in a bathtub in Tyler after I had COVID. I didn't know it was COVID, and my hamstrings were so freaking tight. I tried stretching lightly, and that's when I went to massage. But if they had stayed away from me, I never would have bought the electric bike. I probably never would have lost. If I could have got to an FJ Cruiser living in Santa Fe, I never would have left because it was just too much pain in the ass. Like, it's a trailer. My Mini fits on the trailer. So I'm like, well, I'll just trailer my Mini. If I had it, like, I don't think back then you could trailer an FJ Cruiser. I may be wrong, but I think I couldn't. So I would never have left. Something so simple. Well, we were panicking a little bit. People that supported Trump, because we had it so bad there, we weren't sure what was happening and what would happen when Mujin came in. So my friend moved with her son up to Montana. And I just, and it got a lot of stuff. I was being harassed and stuff, and I decided it was time to move on. I almost didn't do it because I saw the woman that started working in the office as somebody to take care of. Again, I don't know what take care of, marry, I don't know. But take care of. And I'm like, but this guy was showing up. And I'm like, it was becoming like cucky. Like, as soon as there'd be a connection, he would show up, and he worked for the company. So I didn't want to get stuck, because their whole lives could have changed because of the spells that they put on people around me and on me. Right. So I just didn't want to be around any cuck scenario, Like, I'm sick of that here. Right. Nice, Larry. They're definitely trying to gay me. It's still there. I mean, I can see it. I read it all the time. Actually, as time goes by, you get to see more of it, of what actually happened there and what their spells were. Well, they have pleasure in you becoming unrighteous. So it's part of it. So again, pleasure in unrighteousness. No, they would always like they bring a woman, try to get me interested, and then bring a man with the woman in most cases. Again, there was one innocent woman, and I just felt so bad for her because she just was so, she was like Angie, but we never dated. She was pregnant, had a husband, but there was something there. Something was wrong. Right. And I actually saw her one last time. She worked there, then she stopped working once she had the kid. And then I saw her one more time, and we couldn't even say hi. It was just like the spell was so. Right. We just had good conversation. She was just a pleasant person. Right. I loved a lot of the women, and you know, I guess loved being around women in New Mexico because they just had a certain, without the deep state, they had a certain innocence. Right. Right. They're just genuine people. If they had actually known me and actually we lived friendship or something together, right? Like the one woman was getting to know me, and we'd have been just friends or what. I don't know if she was interested or something. I had no idea. She was just always there, kind of when I would check out, and then she said that she had a problem that she needed me to help with, and I said fine. But I'm sure they told her not to pay me. Again, I wouldn't care if I told her you don't have to pay me. I mean, pay me if you can. That's just the way this works. Right? Not here to force people that can't buy gifts for their kids to pay me. Right? Just because I helped you buy the gift. Right? Like these are things you're supposed to be rewarded for, right? They reverse the polarity on everything. You get rewarded when you have sex with the woman at the at the casino with an orgy, which probably happened, right, somewhere along the way. That's a representation. Thank you, Larry. No, she had issues, and I just she's definitely she was like a gangster when she was a kid, but I tried to work it out with her and trying to get her somewhere. And again, what came up at the end was just to go to the gym with her, get her to the gym. So there was a future for this woman that she needed to avoid. Again, I found out her parents were diabetics and very bad diabetics, and she's eating candy all day. So she's cursed to begin with. Right? She was like 35. And and then the thing is, like, her boyfriend was like 21. So I'm robbing the cradle. I haven't had any relationship with anybody, right? So that's what was always found in this, that their people were actually the people they were talking or trying to say I was. Boy, it's so much nicer in here. It's so warm. God, it's cold out there. Well, it's just sad because 4 years ago I could have healed to this, at least this level, probably way past this level. Right. I don't know what they were using. Right. There's no doubt they break in and want you to know they break in. There's no doubt to that. I could have had a very healthy life, lived a very healthy life, been happy with a wife. I'm just constantly online with these fake personas. They don't let you get anywhere. Like there's a spy master in the background that never lets you get anywhere successful. Even though there's like other people that are unaffiliated. I have a new fax. Yeah, it was the other one that didn't make it. Yeah, they were trying to send me a fax the other day, and it was blocked. But again, it's interesting to see what they did. Oh, I got a patient portal. They do have a patient portal. Oh wait, there's just someone. No, this is them. Right. Yeah, I was like wondering what the hell was going on. Oh, they have it offline too. How do I sign in? I need to. Wait a minute. Now, let me look over here. What's it saying? Oh, okay, there they are. No, it's just I should have been in this the whole time. Right. I mean, had I been able to get this down below a certain level, which is starting to happen, I'd had no problem navigating the last 4 years. Now my right side is still super energized compared to the left. Okay, so now I can send a message to them. Right. That's what I was looking for. Access. I think I can. Okay, so he has. See what this is. What's this? I don't get this. Oh, he actually is this is an order. Oh, so he. Right. Oh, okay, that's now it's the other one. So I guess he's in the. They're into the St. Luke system, so they're just and everybody else are just grabbing information that's already out there. Right. I just have a better copy of that MRI report. Now I remember going to that pain management guy in Nurses Assist. Again, the whole thing is I was just so sick that I couldn't. My right side was so freaking energized, is what it turned out. And, I finally figured all this out. Right. That I couldn't get anywhere. I remember going in there and he's like, okay, I'm going to, we'll do a procedure. We'll check for ablation to see if the ablation works. And then like the chiropractor poo-pooed that doctor when I went to him. Now, I don't know why I listened to the chiropractor, but again, this is what's happening when I get wheeled down and the chiropractor is up, Right. Now I'm hoping that shoulder, forms a little better. Again, I used a bunch of magnesium oil on it, so it's probably just too lax. Right. But I had to get it the right side relaxed. And now I'm standing on two legs that kind of work. Not 100%. So again, I know 4 years ago this would have worked. Thank you, Larry. Again, that's why they're supposed to stay away from it. Well, I needed probably to be a massage envy. That's what it comes down to. I don't know, I don't know if I ran into. And again, right. In Tyler, I actually started a massage and they attacked. After I gave everything away, I was thinking of staying there. And I think I articulated that to try to go through massage. And then I was attacked. And one of the cops that was stalking me, he was like freaked out, which means he's probably a deep, deep state guy. Where, the stuff I was talking about meant that he could be exposed to, a murder charge. But he looked freaked out. He pulls up next to me. Well, I'm still sick, in Tyler after it happened. I'm in my new van, I guess. And I'm just sitting there. And then he looks over and he had such a shitty look on his face. He was going to get me one way or another. I know that was what he was thinking. Right. But again, they use private operators and detectives that aren't marked, generally. Thanks, Larry. Well, that's the scam. They give it the validity, whoever it is, they give it the validity of the police department by bringing the cop around. Now, without the massage and all this, like magnesium oil and all that, the epidural wouldn't have done all this. Right. So if they'd have done the ablation, it may have actually been all that I needed, to tell you the truth. But again, they were like poo-pooing that doctor. I end up to another doctor, and all that happened to him is I end up seeing a guy in a wheelchair that got some sort of surgery in Dallas, and he can no longer walk, and he's got a urine bag. And for all I know, that's a deep state setup. Again, even cartels could do a production like that. Just pay the money, right? But he says, don't get the surgery. The guy was here the other day. You had a problem. I shouldn't have saw any of that, right? Because my surgeon, that doesn't happen there, right? Thank you, Larry. If it did, they wouldn't be the top 10 in the world, or top 50, I guess. And then he gives me he goes, "Do you want me to release it? Sometimes it gets worse." Because he was going to give me a trigger point. And I said, "Yeah, go ahead." And of course, it got worse, right? Well, why? I couldn't get to the right massage therapist. Right. I needed an aggressive massage therapist to take that right side and reduce it. The neck, the shoulder. Right. And then it would have probably went whoop right back in. Better than I am right now. I mean, there's no way that it could have been 4 years ago. 100%. 5 years ago. This is what your deep state's actually doing to me. Trying to kill me, trying to keep me away from healthcare and massage and all that. Why? Because you're all criminals. And I wouldn't be a pedophile for you. I wouldn't kill myself like John Luna for you. And John Luna's not the only one. That's why. Don't try to flip it around and act like you're the high ethic. You'll go to blind land just like everybody else out there. They're all setting themselves up for future prosecutions and worse. 100%. having their orgies and trying to say everybody else is sexual. No, the first time I spoke about the algorithms, I didn't call it the algorithms. I said they're out there sexualizing people with these search engines and stuff. I didn't call it the algorithms. Right. That's why I was investigating Yahoo, Google. I don't even remember who else, because there were some other search engines back then. Thank you, Larry. I believe Yahoo was part of a child sex thing. Right. Probably all of them were. Oh, Yahoo looked like it cleaned itself up over the years. So I don't think I even see anything anymore from them. Right. Thank you, Larry. What you do, bro? Well, even if it's the algorithms, again, some of it's happenstance based upon the nature of algorithm. But even if it's algorithm, there was manipulation within algorithm. There's no way that it would work that way that it worked, because it all of a sudden pulls something in from outside the search, so far out that it's obviously designed to shift and alter. Well, the algorithm is going to give you more of what you want, even if you don't want more of it. Thank you, Larry. So you could actually end up radicalizing the algorithm by itself. By the nature of algorithms, could end up radicalizing people. All they have to do is click on a little bit of radical stuff, and then it starts coming back. So let's say you click on some radicalizing material. The algorithm is going to find radicalizing material that's similar and put it in your feed. Now you click twice. Now you're clicking 5 times. So what's it going to do? It's going to increase it again, and eventually all you're going to receive is radicalizing information. It's just like going to Elon Musk's. I was like monitoring Doge just to see what they're doing and give suggestions and all that. But at a certain point, it was just like nonstop Elon Musk. I'm like, ah! So I had to like block him. He's posting like 100 times a day, all this nonsense. So again, it's the algorithm. See? Now, why it was giving children some sort of sexual information, and then it was also the algorithm was also bringing pedophiles in or something like that. That sounds like it's a third-party manipulation of it. Now, it could be based upon your IP address being targeted as somebody that has to be a pedophile. I guess I take it back. Not necessarily. I mean, sure that exists, but somebody that is an enemy. So let's try to make a mess there. Right. Thank you, Larry. Well, nobody. Well, this is the point. The third party people may have known that you weren't really a kid. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. So what they're trying to do is see if they could hook you up with pedophiles, and they get you into it. Or it could be other things. Right. Don't, as I told people, don't think that there's actually any secrecy. That's the way to do this. Realize that everything online is no longer secret. Nothing. Encryption, maybe, maybe not. Well, because spies have fake encryption apps out there and have ways to access encryption information. All you need is somebody that's in the group. Right. So again, always believe that there is no privacy, and then your life will run smoother. They can't trap you into that nonsense. Thank you, Larry. Yeah, I don't even believe in encryption. I mean, I'm sure it works to a certain degree. It makes it more difficult, but and again, I guarantee you get online. There's like 10 encryption things that are fake, and not 10, probably 100, maybe even 1,000. That's how they defeat it. They have you use their encryption app where they can read everything. Correct. I mean, if you're a standard person, they're not gonna, not gonna do anything. No, you just ran the clock on my life, all of you. I mean, that's horrible. I said you were doing it, and you just kept doing it. Well, your kids they want your kids screwed up too. So again, they're attacking your kids. Like if your kid turns out screwed up, or into something they shouldn't be, that's them. So your kids get hit by the deep state too. So if your kids like you, your kids will be harassed. That's how the deep state acts. If your kids will cooperate and hate you, then they have a better life. But again, that's a psyop, and it's altering your kids. Great, sir. No, that would be the way to handle it. So the way to handle the whole Russian-Ukrainian thing is that they're all Kievan Rus. They're all that same group of people. I guess we call it Slavic or something. So again, at a certain point in time, maybe Russia was this empire and owned something. But again, throughout history, the Slavic people and the Kievan Rus and all that, I mean, there's no reason to believe that they're anything than brothers and sisters. It's like a man-made confusion. And I'm not saying that Putin had the capability to see it at that level at that time. Again, this is why we're supposed to meet with one another. We're supposed to think about things. Well, I mean, when it started in 2011, it was just bullshit. It was like a political hack, and you got rid of the political hack. Right? It wasn't anything. I mean, back when I was part of it, it was just a stupid political thing. Right. Well, I was not part of Donetsk and all that stuff. At least I don't think I was. But by the time that had hit, they'd already killed me. I couldn't see anything. Right. And then I came back for a little bit, but again, as of when did Trump get in there? 2016 or 17, whatever it is. At that point, I told him, just meet with him. Just don't pay attention to any of them. You get in there and you meet with Putin. It's like when I told the Jews, you get in there and you do peace with the Palestinians because the future of this world depends on that. I mean, there's a lot of, like, when you think about the money we spent fighting those wars, there's a lot of people that could have been helped with that money. Right? And that's why Satan does that. No, Elon has some good ideas. I don't know where he is now. They might be drugging him for all I know. They might be surreptitiously drugging Elon. Where's he eating at? What's he touching? Who has access to his space? But the reality being, he was right. Trump wants to do a tax refund or a tax reduction, and Elon was against that. Elon's idea, I think, well, you can do I think we were for a realignment of taxes, making the tax system work for the United States and its economy. Right. Well, Elon said that, we have to start paying, as far as wealthy people. If we don't pay, then how are we going to make the system work? So again, one thing that Elon's experiencing now is he understands what it is to be a real government person to a certain degree. Again, he's doing something a little bit one-off. But when you're in government, you don't get, like, generally. I mean, some people get, obviously, the deep state gets. Right. But so Elon's learning that he's losing now. Why are you losing? Because you're in government and doing the right thing. See, it doesn't pay. And you're talking shit about all those government employees. They don't, some of them make money. I mean, if you got a good family and you had a good not I would say a good upbringing, but you had well upbringing. You went to college, you had good college, fraternity brothers and sisters, or something, or sorority sisters. If you had something like that, then there's a chance when you get in the government that your investments will work, and you don't have to be the deep state because your life is protected to a certain degree, just intrinsically. Right. Like Jack Smith, he's protected. Trump, I mean, you're going to make him a rich man, is what you're going to end up doing. The government's going to owe him money. You're representing the government. The government is now infringing upon his rights based upon the government. It's still the same government. The government gave him an assignment. He did the assignment. You see? Oh, you just wait till the next president gets in there, sue you, it'll be a millionaire. I mean, he'll get $1 million. Right. But if you're an average Joe and you go in the government, they'll kill you. And you try to be honest. Well, they'll try to make you look like the most dishonest person in government. That's their goal. I mean, they're sick people. Again, these people were in my life when I was in the Army. And the only thing I can think of, it was either one of the pedophiles that molested me, put them into me, or maybe both, or that situation with those two guys that raped that girl. Right. But I was just living in the same house as the one guy because I let him stay there because, I mean, he beats you up if you don't let him stay there. I mean, I was a kid, Right. 100%. Thank you, Lars. And again, it goes back to my stepfather, and what happened is my mother put my stepfather out. They got divorced as a result of it. Now over time they moved back in together, but she said that's it. She probably should have took that stand when I was growing up. Like she should have never married him. It's just such a shame. Right? The rabbi, it would have been nice if she married the rabbi, right? Thanks, Larry. But there was other guys. This guy, like, she didn't like this one guy. He gave us all gifts. This was like in the 70s. That's the average good-looking 70s guy, man. I don't remember what the guy's name was. He was there briefly. But she got mad because he brought us all gifts, nice gifts. Love kids. Good man. So my mom used to date. My brother Steve would take care of us and, like, destroy us. My brother Steve was evil as a kid. I forgot. And, like, I get in trouble because, like, I'd like pick up like a board and go, pop, because he's bigger than me. He grabs my mother's shoes, start hitting me. It's just like those, stiletto heels, and he's hit me with stiletto heels. So I grab a piece of wood and go, poof. Oh, Larry hit me with a piece of wood. Now, my family, my mother and my father probably would have went to jail if they were raising me today. And what happened then happened. Now, you'd put them in jail. The sheriff department would put them in jail easy. Right. 100%. Again, the pedophile probably wouldn't even have been available. The pedophiles in the 70s were a little bit open. I mean, it still goes on. But, they just, have parties and let young kids drink and stuff. Right. Then they put something in your drink, that kind of deal. Yeah, I could have been dead. I'm like I lived. I mean, mixing pills with drink, just like you'd be alive. Right. Oh my God. I don't know what he used, but I went out. And he actually told me about somebody else, another victim. But again, they didn't do that stuff back then. Who knows? He could have paid people off too. Right. Boy, it's getting cold again out here. No, I'm 100% sure 4 years ago I could have healed to be healthy without surgery. Never got there because they blocked it. But again, my mind would have been such where I would have been focusing on the surgery and keeping it monitored and researching it and adjusting my life so that it would be when it's available, then it's available. Right. Yeah, I heard back from the doctor. Essentially, he sounds like a good guy. Hopefully, it works. Right. he's actually, is it him or is it the place where he works? They're only like average on outcomes. They're like the average outcome. But for that particular surgery that I'm looking at, they're, I think, the top 50 for lumbar spine. I'm not sure on outcomes. Well, the point is that all along the way, this could have been held at bay. Right? It may never have needed surgery if they just were stopped. Again, when I left the government, there was enough evidence to convict them. But they didn't put anything, they didn't write anything. They just got rid of all of it and said, okay, he gets to go on in life. And they played that. Right. Pretty crazy how it got cold today after so warm yesterday. No, I'm walking pretty darn good right now. Oh, because my spine is no longer that fulcrum. I tried explaining to my brother. And he got so mad. I know they're in his head. Right. They wired to him. They just to watch him for a while and just keep willing. And how dare this? How dare that? There was no place for me to be to get the massage I just got. Again, everything's metaphysical. But again, I had already placed myself somewhere to get that massage. When I was aware that there was a major issue, I moved to Santa Fe. I moved to Espanola to be in a spiritual organization, wanted to do charity. Their scripture is still great. The Sikh people do not mirror their scripture generally. I mean, some do. But again, there's a certain level of, I don't know, I guess that's esoteric. I don't know what I'm actually, what word to use for it, but there's a certain aspect of their scripture that they don't really get to. Again, the idea of needing Khalistan or needing a place that you own, it's your country. That's not in Sikhism. Again, the gurus didn't need a country. The Sikh gurus, again, they're Sikh teachers, again, Sikh masters. That's kind of the translation. So like what Jesus was to the Christian people. Now, you have to understand, religions that come after Jesus, you have to read the scripture. Hashem showed me how to read the scripture. Well, when was it said that Jesus was the only Son of God? Now, I'm not telling you one way or the other. I'm just getting that basic idea. A long time ago, right? Because I said to Hashem, I said, I guess he's the only, because it came up that he manifested a certain way. So the only manifesting Son of God. So that's, because I knew the Bible speaks about the sons of God all over the place. Right? The Torah, all the scriptures, the Kabbalah. So Hashem said, regardless of what it meant, you were born after that was said, son. Son, you were born after that was said. Thank you. See? Oh, I'm a son of God, there's no doubt. Probably the biggest Ben Elohim that's ever been here. Again, based upon where you place me in society, God analyzes what you have lied to God about. Thank you, Larry. And of course, if you read the scriptures that Christians don't read or don't want to read, just by believing in the work of Rabbi Yeshua ben David, aka Jesus, he imparts the Son of God status to you. But again, you have, there's ways to disqualify and ways not to believe. And thank you, Larry. Well, I am pretty cold. I can't go outside no more. I didn't have my jacket on. Get this heat up in here. But what's the reality? What did I tell you now as the seventh angel? It doesn't exist. There's only creator and creation. That's all there is. That's why, like, people say, well, where did this created equal come from? Yada, 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 yada. Well, God is still speaking on it, whether you agree to it or not. But again, God's communications are not perfect because God's communications are killed here. Now, here's a sign. So I'm having a good day, kind of. Right. Got to the massage, walking okay with two semi-strong legs. And then the surgeon sends me an email, right, and puts me into the portal. So again, it's his system. Again, this is what I was speaking about. You killed the Rothman system. You see, that's Rothman. They just spoke through me. How did you do that? They killed because the Rothman system should have got me there. Once the surgeon says yes, then it happens. Right. Or something happens. And it didn't. Again, if I'd have got well there was a possibility of me increasingly getting well, but I couldn't get there because you all were blocking. And the spy masters know that's what they're putting you up to. And you all know it's corrupt. Well, again, what we're doing is we're robbing from Peter to pay Paul with the system that we're designing. Again, the Senate did have problems with it. Early on, at least. I don't know. So again, 4 years ago, I could have kept going through the right, I never did get to the right massage until now. So 4 years ago, I could have found the right massage. It could have released me and leveled me off, and I'd have got somewhere. I mean, when I was in Colorado, now they raised the price where I lived like $400 in a day. And that may have been the deep state. Right. But there was a massage place right in the next building over. And I got there once and couldn't get back. Again, that's why you don't allow them to develop the evil rules. The evil rule is manifesting. Try to get this heater on. Get a little warmer in here. Now, I think part of what I was doing is I was cutting. Again, I don't think the heat was correct. The temperatures that I have on my thermometers, I think they were saying it was warmer in here than it was. But one of the things I was doing wrong is I was stopping it at 71 degrees or 70, 71 degrees, something like that. Now, for whatever's going on in my body, I needed it like 73, 74. I'm going to go look to see if this volume is well still and the microphone is still working. No, I mean, being healthy is a good thing, right? And, I went out on disability because what they were doing was affecting my health to the point that I could no longer say that it was safe for me to stay in government. Now, if they wanted to come clean about the deep state world, then maybe we could discuss something and work out something different than a retirement. So again, even in me moving towards retirement, I accepted their bullshit world to say, okay, this is the only way to do it. Bye. I'll go live my life somewhere else. Again, they lied about the whole thing, which is what they do. Again, they lied about the whole thing, which is what they do. Yeah, I guess the microphone even sounds like it works better. I think it's a little loud though. You go down a little bit lower. Well, I can actually walk now and not be in constant inflammation. I have inflammation, but it's not that higher level of inflammation. They have these lav mics that are electronic, but I mean, I got my phone in front of me. I don't need another radio device. Sending a, they're wireless, so I would actually plug it into my phone, and the other one I would clip on. But it has like noise cancellation and all that, which I'm interested in. But I think using this analog mic works well with my little dongle.